Welcome to the 27th episode of It's All About People, where we learn and grow from people who are doing great in their career. In this podcast episode, we have a mind coach who is helping people of all walks of life to improve their mental issues. So, we welcome Tanuja Maben ma'am to this podcast.
Thank you very much. To start off, I'm very happy and proud to be part of this program. And here we go.
Awesome. And ma'am, like how are you helping your clients or people of all walks of life in improving their mental issues?
Yes. When it comes to the mental issues, initially I was actually taking up as a counselor and I used to counsel the people. But later on, I have realized that just by counseling, what happens, one part of it or one problem can be solved. But when you look as a whole, the personality remains the same. There is no change in their thoughts or there's no change in the way their lifestyle. So that is where I started off with 21 days program, that is redesign your mind. So in this particular program, I look into every aspects of the person. For example, like it could be finance, career, relationship, every areas of a person is looked into and why they are not able to make it and what are the thoughts which is actually stopping them. I work on them and then give them the proper guidance so that they can pave their path.
That's a great initiative, ma'am, because there are no many people who are helping other people in developing or improving their mindset. And we have gone through a worst phase, I could tell, that is the change of COVID, where many people were into their house, people have lost their job, and they did not know what to do. And there, many people have faced mental issues. So, how is the change going on right now, and what was your contribution in coming out? What was the contribution of those people or helping them out?
Yes. Aristotle says it is during the darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. So this particular life, what we were living, it was very smooth. And we, in fact, had a manual of life. But the unexpected event was not included in that manual. So when we were exposed, we were showered with complex array of challenges. We never knew how to cope up with these situations when it was all of a sudden we had a social isolation or we have to be locked up inside the house and there was nothing outside the parties or the schools or the education, whatever. So that has led to the many problems like stress, depression, uncertainty, sadness, eating disorder, suicidal tendency, substance, or it could be a screen time where everybody started getting into the screen. But slowly, this screen time has actually brought down the self-esteem of a person because they always started comparing themselves with the pics which was posted in the FB or Instagram or any of the social media. And then it also affected the body image. They also wanted to be look good like everybody else. So what is the fine line for us to gauge ourselves or compare ourselves was out of proportion.
Okay.
Maybe the parents also were at home and they were controlled and they were looked into for everything, watched over. Maybe the children also didn't like that. And every time there could be a fear of failure because at home also everybody might be talking about what next, what is, they're always looking into the darker side of it. So the fighting mechanism or coping mechanism has come down drastically. So everybody was in the fight or the flight mode, that how do I fight, how do I fly. More of is that it's a flight mechanism. But the question was they couldn't fly or they couldn't run away to any other places, but they have to be in that place. So this have led to the lot and lot of things that people have lost that confidence to manage or to face the difficulties.
That's really interesting point and rightly have mentioned, because in COVID time, if you see people, they were playing PUBG, they were scrolling Instagram, Facebook, and they had lot of time to waste. And if you see, the sleeping habits also have changed. And we know there are some major issues if the sleeping habits have changed. And because of that, right now the coping mechanism, have you told, that has been decreased compared to before. So while coming up with a coping mechanism, I think so. If the person is suggested, or maybe if the person is going to a certain situation, so there are high chances that it could be that he is not able to cope up with the situation in a right manner, and it leads to a suicide in the coming time. So what could be some of the challenges or the things that are happening, or what is the reason behind these suicides that people are doing right now?
Okay. The mental health is not a destination, but it's just a process. It's about like how you drive. It's not where you're going. Now, whenever the people had the mental issues, it was only the destination. It's only that conclusion. How do I finish and end up this? How do I come out of this? That's the only thing every person started having it. Because how do I cope up? What are the different mechanism? What are the different things was not being taught. And even when you are in the lockdown period, everybody was calm, eating, sleeping. There was not of much of physical exercise or physical thing also. So what has happened was the body was not able to cope up with that. So immediately when you are exposed or when you are come down, or totally your mind is not into your control. So now what has happened is that you are in the online classes where you are distracted, you are not focused, and then you are not able to get the marks. And also what has happened is that even if the child is scoring 98%, but maybe it could be because of the many reasons. For example, it could be tuitions, it could be Google, it could be any other teachers. The contribution of many people were there. What is a child's effort? Or is that child was spoon fed? No idea. So the child feels insecure when it really faces the problem. So now the question is, I can't, I am unable to do it. These are the things which we are actually listening. These words are helpless words. So efforts are not appreciated, but the marks. And you're focusing on the marks, you're focusing on what the person is doing, not doing. Because if a student is not getting marks in maths, they are put to the tuition. And what they have got good marks, we don't actually appreciate. So the child started, losing that, no, I'm not appreciated, I'm not good at. The moment the child starts thinking on that, the death or the suicidal thoughts will start creeping into his mind. And because they are all seeing into the media also, there are so many strategies, so many things that they can end their life. And at that moment, that what strikes their mind, they just get into it. And it is very sad to know that many of the children are coming into it. Even in their appropriate age, they are committing suicide. That is actually a shocking thing for everybody.
Yes, even for me also, it's very shocking as teenagers, or it could be very small children. They are committing suicides. Like they are not able to share their problem with other people, and they are not able to tell it to their parents as well. I think so. It might be because of the Western culture that people are following right now. They're seeing those shows, or it could be some series where Western culture has been planting seeds in India as well. And if you see right now, new terms are coming like Friday night, or it could be parties, having enjoyment. So these things are improving a lot in these teenagers. So how those Friday nights, or it could be those parties, it could be affecting these students.
See, one thing I want to tell you is everybody is going through a lack or a void. Everybody has got that vacuum. How that vacuum can be filled? So people want to go out and try out the things so that I am accepted or I am for something for somebody. This is what everybody wants to see on one side of it. On the other side, it has become as that, network is net worth. So people want to get network, they want to get into people and have the relationship. So this can, they can overdo it or they can limit themselves. It is on the in the hands of the person. But how do we actually draw that line? Do we have boundaries to it? No. You want to go to a party and that becomes an everyday routine, and that becomes an addictive also, because your sleep pattern gets disturbed, you are coming late and your sleeps are disturbed, and you start eating because there's always a good food, or you tend to have ordered food and you start eating more and you start putting on weight also. And then because your sleep is not okay, you're mentally disturbed on the next day, and because we are disturbed, you want to go to the parties again. So what happens, we are in the loop actually. For example, like a smoker, he want to smoke, and that gives him that because of the nicotine he gets high or he gets relaxed or whatever. But once it comes down, he wants to go back again. So even these parties or any of these also will be addictive. So once that comes down, you want to go. You want to go because there's a pleasure over there. So how do I get that pleasure? I need to go. So once you go for a pleasure, everything goes on the backstage. So your preference, your body, your mental health is not at all accounted. This is the effect which you are actually getting into it.
Yes, ma'am. And there is one thing that people tell that you need enough sleep, like maybe 8 hours of sleep in a day. And some people tell ki even little sleep also I can manage my day, I can do it really well. So is there any particular number that okay, a person should have only 8 hours of sleep, or is there any other factor through which that we are able to stay energetic and stay lively?
Yes, you need 8 hours of sleep. If you sleep at 8 o'clock, if you're getting up, properly on a particular time, you will have a biological time. But even if you couldn't sleep at that time, you're studying or you're actually working. But what I mean to say is you need to have deep sleep. You need to have sound sleep. That makes all the difference. Even in the sleep, if you don't get the sleep and if you have a disturbed sleep, and it surely affects the next day because your body is not rested. Your body is not actually organized inside. So you will be disturbed.
Okay. And also, many people they keep their alarm at maybe 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and they maybe suddenly wake up at 5:30, and they think like, okay, still 30 minutes are left, and again they sleep. Then they see, okay, they woke up maybe 2 hours later. So, what is the cycle, or how people can manage such that they don't press that snooze button, wake up on time, and do their activities?
Actually, everybody wants to keep an alarm before you go to sleep, and that I want to get up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and we are all set for it to get up in the morning. But once you get the snooze and you start snoozing it, once the alarm rings, you will start snoozing it because you're not ready for it, because either you're not in the deep sleep, you have not rested properly, or what you want to get up, the goal is not very clear for you. These are the two things. And the alarm rings and the time you get up, in between that, you have a lot of battle in your mind. That's the time you start thinking that no, 8 hours sleep is required. Or you would say that I didn't sleep properly in the night. Then you would say that it's okay, I can do it later. See, these kind of battle that happens in your mind, but we don't understand that, or we don't realize that it is my commitment towards my life. It's my commitment towards me. When I don't do it, the brain will think in all the other situations that it's okay, I can do it later. So the brain will not come under your control, or it will not do the things what you are asked for. So this is the first in the beginning, or in the beginning of the day, where we don't listen to our own commitment.
So, as we know, it's really important that we listen to ourselves first rather than maybe listening to other people. So, if we start our day where we are not listening to ourselves, so we can understand how it's going to affect the coming days, or it could be how it's going to affect the life as well. And coming back to students as well, you see, when they are into exam phase where they have their final exams, they reduce their sleep and they study a lot. And also in terms of balancing their activities, if you talk about my journey itself, like when I was in 10th, 12th, I was too much into sports and I used to balance my studies. When I came into the engineering phase, thing is I was not able to get time to play my favorite game, or it could be do other activity which I like to do. Only thing was studies. So how students can balance their time in such a way they're able to play as well and they're able to learn as well?
Yeah, playing and sports and education has to go hand in hand. We are all facing the problem because of it. Maybe due to that, people don't have physically, they are not active, or they are not, see, when we were used to school, in the school, when we were going for these sports, I believe that the teamwork, the leadership, or, the goal, or that going together, the emotionally, how you have to face the failure, all these things we used to study, we used to learn, not study, we used to learn during that game. But today there's no game at all. And that is where we learn all these attributes inside the closed wall, or inside the room. We start having the training, what is leadership, what is team building. We start learning inside the room now, which we used to learn on the in the playground. And obviously it will affect the people, the students, because if you are actively, now suppose you go to the gym or you go to the exercise, your body becomes strong. When your body is strong, you are strong to study more number of hours, you become active, there are more of hormones which is released, which is necessary for our studies. But you are not like that. You, what you take, suppose you want to take, you will take 1 hour for the studies, which you will take 4 hours to study, because absorption is not there. That's why you have to study for a longer time.
Hmm. Very well. That's an important key point that we have to learn, that leadership skills, they're not taught in a room, but it is taught in a playground. Because right now we give motivation, training, leadership skill on online seminars, but we are not implementing those things. So if we want to change in our life, we need to implement the stuff that we are learning. And this is why we see in major companies that there are drawbacks. They are not able to handle leadership in a certain level. So that's a very important thing as well. So when it comes to mindset and being mindful, people, they tend to see other people on social media and they try to copy that lifestyle. Or it could be they see the celebrity who is having successful life, they have their own bodyguards, cars, and they try or they mimic to be that kind of superstar. So what can we do about those people? So how can we maybe make them aware that the thing that they're doing, it's not right, they need to live the life of their own choices?
It all boils down to the self image. What is that image, what I am carrying, what I am? If you are very strong about what I am, and what are my elements, what are my attributes, if I'm really very strong on that, I don't have to compare anybody. I have come with my own attributes and my elements, and I need my personality traits. So, what can I do with this is the only thing what I have to think about. That is their journey, it is not my journey. They do something in their areas, because suppose, for example, somebody is good in studies. It doesn't mean that everybody can be good in studies. Somebody could be good in creativity. So, what am I good at that I should understand? But what has happened throughout our life is somebody else is dictating us, somebody else is telling us that what we are good and what we are not good at. So we have picked up what we are not good at and we still work on what we are not good at. So if you have one not good, you might be having four which is good, but which we are not opening our eyes to see what we are good at. So that is a main problem or main challenge what we all have when we are looking at others. Suppose if somebody is happy, can I be also happy by looking at them? This is the mindset we need to get into.
Yes, being happy is one of the important thing that we need to focus on, and not much on the money. Yes, money is important, does not mean that we need to leave everything and just focus on the money. How we're getting the money is also very important. Are you enjoying the activity that you're doing, or are you doing it for someone's sake? So from there we get to know, or we come up with these mind issues in such a way. And as well, ma'am, you have done, like, you're doing 21 days of training with your clients every day, maybe with people of different walks of life. So what kind of changes that you see, or common traits that you see from all those people?
Now, for example, if a client comes to me with tablets, many clients have actually worked upon where they had 14 to 18 tablets when they have come to me. As they worked upon, and I could see that the tablets have been stopped. Now, why and how the tablets has been stopped? Because when you take the tablet, if we always think that I'm sick and I want to sit, I want to sleep, this is the only thing, either sitting and sleeping and eating. This is the only thing what the patients are going through. But according to me, hand in hand, some skills also have to be trained. So when they get into the skills, when they see what they're good at, when they really, there are many things what I'm actually doing it, actually guided meditation, or it could be visualization. It could be different practices what I give them, journaling I give them. So many of these practices, once they get into it, that becomes their routine. And they start feeling good about themselves, and they feel that, yes, I can live, I can actually cope up. So this is the conclusions, or this is what the confidence they built on them,
Mm, that's the
within them.
thing. Yeah, because knowing yourself is one of the important thing, and they try to assume things. because they see their neighborhood, they see their surroundings, and because of that, again, we come back to the same thing, that copying their stuff, because they just want to be in the crowd. They do not want to stand out of the crowd. So that is the thing that we need to understand. So all those phases that people are going through, according to you, what is that one tip that you want to give, or what is that message that you want to share? How we can understand or be mindful of ourselves such that we are not falling into these mental issues?
I would say that people are so much worried about their beauty, they're worried about their hair, they're worried about their sickness, for example, physical sickness, but nobody is bothered about their mind. If your mind is set, if your mind is having a proper thoughts in your mind, that itself reflects on your body. Many of the times I have healed many people only working on their mind. Maybe clinically, maybe, if you take it medically, it may not be possible at all. Maybe, I had somebody that he had eczema. So he was been going through from 12 years where there was no medicine. He had to go for a steroid, or even that was not in use at all. He had come for 9 days of my sessions, and he had been come out very, very clean. His hands and legs are very clean. So these are the challenges. Once you understand your own mind and thinking, how you actually face your negativity in your life, once you calm down, once you know how I can face it, slowly your body calms down. When your body calms down, the triggers comes down. When the trigger comes down, your hormones that also comes down. And then everything settles down. The healing happens within yourself. So the mind has to be given first and foremost priority.
Yes, that's as well. So if we what we do is we initially give food to our stomach rather than the food to the brain. So the thing that will change, ma'am, from now, that we will also train our mind as we train our stomach as well to grow and build our life. So, ma'am, thank you for your time and valuable information that you have given on mindfulness, because these topics are nowhere discussed in schools or colleges. It is us who go in seek of it. And I think so listeners are grateful because we are providing this information to them, and they're also learning and changing their lives. So thank you, ma'am, for your time to this podcast.
Yes, thank you very much.